Hi, Frugal friends. Welcome back to Is Fire for Me? I'm Kim, and you've reached the Daily Dose of Frugality segment on this channel. We are currently working our way through 365 Ways to Live Cheap. This little coffee table book is by Trent Ham, who's the founder of thesimpledollar.com. If you've tuned into our previous Daily Dose of Frugality segments, you will know that there are separate sections in this book. We're currently in section 1, the 10 biggest tips for living cheap. I will get you caught up here. Number 1 was to take little steps, not big ones. Number 2 is to realize that you're not alone on this journey. Number 3 is to spend less than you earn. Number 4 is to calculate how much you really make. Number 5 is to record every penny you spend for a month. And today we are on tip number 6, which is to master the 10-second rule. Want to curb that leaky faucet of unnecessary spending? Here's a great tactic. Whenever you're in a store and you pick up an item, hold it for 10 seconds. During those 10 seconds, ask yourself if you really need it and also if that money wouldn't be better used somewhere else. You'll almost always find yourself putting that unnecessary item back on the shelf and walking away, quite proud that you didn't waste your money on something so unnecessary. I think that there are a few different principles in this section that are really helpful. I think the first is to control impulse purchases. This sort of comes back to a topic that we've talked a lot about on our Frugal Friday segment, where we're covering intentionally spending money and intentionally being frugal. So if you are holding something for 10 seconds, you're being intentional about whether or not you want to buy it. I think it's so easy sometimes when we walk into stores, especially Target, I'm looking at you, and you go through that first section that they've curated to have a lot of really seasonal, flashy, colorful, trendy, in-the-moment items. And it's so easy to thoughtlessly pick one of those up, think, oh, this is fun, put it in your cart, and then continue on. If you're really deliberately thinking about the item and the opportunity cost that comes with owning that item, it's sort of a different thing, right? So you're holding it and you're thinking about the price. And because you know how much you actually make an hour, you know how many hours you have to work to have this item. We learned about finding out how much you actually make an hour in, I think, step number 4 of this book. So as you're holding that, you're thinking about the cost, like the actual physical cost. But then there's other costs, right? So what don't you get to do because you've chosen to own this item? What don't you get to spend your money on because you've chosen to own this item? And then when you take this item home, where does it live? How much time do you have to spend cleaning it? Will you actually use it, or will it just take up space? If it takes up space, is it something you're going to have to dust around? Is it something that you're going to have to move to find a different spot for? Are you going to have to get rid of something else to make room for it? That takes time, and time equals money, right? Time could be spent doing something else that gives your life meaning, could be spent generating more wealth. So I think this consumption, this thoughtless consumption of items, is something that our society makes it really easy to do. And so I really like that this tip is saying, hold the item in your hand for 10 seconds. Really, really think about whether or not you want to bring it into your life and into your home. And if you do, buy it. If you don't buy it. So I think the part that they're missing here is the actually purchasing of items. There have been times that I've gone into a store and I've picked something up and I've looked at it, and maybe I've put it in my cart, but I know it's just holding place there for a minute while I do a few other things, and I'm still kind of thinking about the item, and maybe I'm not physically holding it in my hands, but I haven't committed to it yet because I know that I need to go through the mental exercise to make sure it's something I really want, something I have space for, something I have time for, something I'm willing to give up future opportunities for. And then as I come around, I think, I've been thinking about this item. I'm so excited about this thing I'm going to buy. And so I buy it, and it brings me joy. And I've intentionally made the choice to purchase it. And because I've intentionally made that choice, I'm very happy with what I have. So I think that that's the point here, is really think about what you're buying. Even smaller items, if it's not something that you need, like peanut butter or some grocery staple, but it's something that you think, oh, this could be fun at a summer barbecue, or this could be fun, as a piece of jewelry that I could wear. Just hold it, think about it, and then if it brings you joy, not to steal from Marie Kondo, but if it brings you joy and you've held it for 10 seconds and you've weighed the opportunity cost, then purchase the item and revel in your purchase. Because if you have the privilege and the ability to buy things that you enjoy, that's a really great spot to be in. So buy things that you really want. Don't buy things that you just picked up and were going to thoughtlessly purchase. All right, I will see you back here tomorrow for another daily dose of frugality, and I appreciate your time today.